Okay, I'm going to call the meeting of the City Council for the 7th November to order. And note that all members of the council are present and that Councilmember Shuey most likely is on his way to the council meeting. If you'll join me now with the Pledge of Allegiance, we'll begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First item on the agenda for council action is the consent calendar.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those signify support by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So ordered. Okay, we now move into the recognitions and presentation portion of the agenda, and we have several this evening. The first is probably one of the challenging ones we have to address every now and then, and that is that our very popular police chief Chris Wenzel is leaving the city to go pursue other interests and do the other family matters. So having served for 2 years from November 2015 and 2017, his final day will be on next Monday, the 13th. I'd like to have Chief Wenzel come up and we will make a presentation to him, recognizing his 2 years of service. What does that mean? Okay. Well, I got to tell you that we've had a number of police chiefs come through my tenure here on the City Council, but I want to particularly recognize Chief Wenzel for some of the contributions he made to the department, the city, and to the community. Not only some of the procedures and other things that he instituted within the department, but he brought a new level of professionalism. In fact, we've had several things, some very small items to our patrol vehicles being enhanced to our innovative camera system that is at the 4 entrance and exit points throughout the city. And what I have to tell you about that is that investment, first of all, has saved manpower and woman power on the police department. And it has been very, very helpful in solving a number of crimes throughout the county. In fact, the most recent one, which I have written about in the mayor's column, is one that occurred over in the city of, in the area of Byron. And they noted that the vehicle appeared to be heading towards Clayton. And sure enough, the chief spent a significant amount of time with the detectives from the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Department, and they identified that vehicle on our system that was just recently installed only a few months ago. And as a result of that, the Detective Bureau from the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Department was able to effectuate an arrest in that matter. So that was, I mean, that's just some of the things that the chief has brought to this community. We are going to miss him very much because we know that he was just, getting rolling on some of the things that he was doing here in Clayton and for our citizens. And now he will take his time back, go back to Livermore, take care of some family issues and others, and we wish him the best of luck, and we're very, very pleased with the service he brought, but at the same time very sorry to see him go. So I'd like to present you with this plaque for sincere appreciation as the chief of the city of Clayton. Great. Would you like to say a few parting words?
Yeah, I'm not very. Thank you for this. I thank the community. The successes that we had has a lot more to do with the partnerships with the citizens, the staff, the police agency. We came together, we did a lot of good things, and it was an honor to serve and work in this community. Some changes happened in my life, and I got to move on, but it's a great community. It was a great opportunity, and I thank you for this. As a matter of fact, as a return.
Okay. Great.
So some of the other projects, it was an honor to work with the city manager on a lot of the issues, the challenges we had. I'd sit in his office and we would talk about different things, and it was one of the things that we wanted to do was talking to our Congressman DeSagne, and getting a flag that was flown over the state capitol and a certificate specifically for the city of Clayton, that this flag was flown over, and they put a flag, there's a flag in here really, and I'd like to present that to the city of Clayton.
Well, let me see if I can open it briefly here and let's see what we have inside. Okay. There is in fact a wonderful flag in here. I'm not going to unfurl it because I don't have to take the time to put it back together again. But thank you very much for the presentation. And again, thank you for your service here in the city of Clayton.
Well, thank you. One more thing though.
Oh, one more.
One more for the city. This just was finished the other day. So it was another project. What this is represents every law enforcement. Probably, where's the camera or something?
Turn it this way. The camera's right
Okay. So what this represents in the United States is the cities of Clayton, other law enforcement agencies. So what I did was I got our patch. This is the original patch for the city of Clayton, our current patch. And all these agencies are the cities of Clayton throughout the United States. I put something together, and for the PD and for, when people come in that, yes, there are other Claytons, sister cities, you can call it. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jim,
Is that up there? Yes.
can we add something?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hi, Chief. I want to certainly echo what the mayor said. You've been a wonderful asset to the city of Clayton and to our police department. We look forward to seeing what you are already implementing throughout the department to carry forward. So we really appreciate your service. I want to recognize that in 2 years you accomplished quite a bit. For the 2 years you were here, the camera system is probably going to be your legacy. That's going to have the biggest impact on the city of Clayton. So again, thank you very much for your service.
I want to mention just a few words as well. I had the pleasure of being part of that advisory interview panel when we interviewed you and a couple other candidates a couple of years ago. And Clayton's a safe city and it's very family oriented. I really want to commend you for kind of getting that from day one and having the right approach and the right focus from day one. So I think you've done a number of wonderful things, for example, in cooperation with the schools and with that focus. So I think we're very sad to see you go. We wish you best of luck, and thank you for the leadership you've shown us in the last 2 years.
Great. Okay. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Thanks for allowing me just the opportunity to say a few words. I thoroughly enjoyed working with Chief Wenzel, and to let you know how much, Chief, I believe we left the price tag on the back of that plaque, and you have until Monday to return it, okay? So you can always renege on what it is. But we'll miss working with him. He brought the right demeanor, the right professionalism, and the right community-oriented spirit. And that will be something that will continue on. And I appreciated you being here, Chief. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Julie, do you want to offer any parting words as well?
We're going to miss you, Chief, a lot.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and we'll now move into some further recognition and,
Dominic has something.
oh, somebody,
From the
Dominic?
Supervisor.
Oh, okay. All right. Supervisor Karen Mitchoff's office.
Okay. Well, Chief Wenzel, on behalf of Supervisor Karen Mitchoff, I'd like to present with you this certificate in recognizing your dedication to serving and protecting the city of Clayton. So thank you.
Okay, any other comments regarding the chief and his service? Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 4B, which is some additional recognitions that we do on a regular basis. And this is for the Do the Right Thing program that offers each of the 3 levels of the schools that we have, elementary, middle, and the charter high school, to honor and recognize certain students for different aspects of the things that they have accomplished at the school and some of the leadership they have brought at such a very early age. The first we have is 2 from the Mount Diablo Elementary School. Now, I'm going to present these, but let me just say this, that I'm going to hand each one of the students their recognition certificate, and at the end, we'll bring all of the students back together for a group photograph so that we can then submit it to the Clayton Pioneer for publication. So with that, I will begin. And by the way, the Do the Right Thing issue or notice this time around, or trait, is for respect. And so at this time, I'd like to have a representative from the middle school come forward, please. And we will, excuse me, for elementary school, Mount Diablo Elementary. And what I will do is we'll make a presentation and have you provide some words about each of them. First one, we have Preston Marks for Do the Right Thing. And come right up, Preston. There he is. All right. Come on over here on this side. Whoop, look out. There's your certificate. There you go.
All right, so when I was asked to think of a student who shows respect in my classroom, it was easy to think of Preston. He always has a smile on his face when we're walking down the hallway or we're working on things in class. He is respectful not only to me, but to the students that are around him. He's a helper in all places. I know that when we go to the library or in the cafeteria or out at recess, wherever we are, I know that I can trust him to do the right thing and be respectful to all adults that are around.
Okay, thank you. All right, thanks so much. Okay, the next one from the elementary school is Isabella Murillo. And Isabel, come right up here for doing respect. Also.
All right, so once again, I have the privilege of having Isabella in my class, and she was another student that was easy to pick for respect. Even just today, when I was thinking about some stories about Isabella, after she had finished her work, she came up and asked how she could help in the classroom. She's always looking out for me and other students to be a helper, and she is a friend to all and is definitely one that I can know that she will follow the directions and do the right thing in our classroom.
Great. Isabella, we'll bring you back up too when we bring all the teams together. Thank you. Okay, here are the next two. This is for Diablo Middle School, and I suspect we'll have a representative from the middle school to come forward. Patty, you're on your way. Okay, the first one we're going to give off is for Noella Lena Garcia, also for respect, from the Do the Right Thing program at the Diablo View Middle School.
So Noah Lena is one of our 8th graders, and her teachers always say that she is most respectful to the teachers and staff, and I know that for sure. And but she's also very respectful to her peers. She can always be counted on to be helping and being doing whatever she needs to do. I know her teacher says that they know that she really values her education. She's a great student, and that's really something to be proud of. So congratulations.
Next, we have Dominic Vines, or is it Vinyas? Vines? All right, come on, Dominic.
So Dominic, you can see, he always has a smile on his face, and he is true.
Okay, thank you all very much. Got everybody?
Just a sec. There we go. Thank you.
Oh, good, thank you. Okay. That's great. This is a really important program for all the young people in the community to get recognized for their contributions to each of the school levels. And what we have found over time is that several of the students, as they move from elementary to middle school and to the charter high school, they get recognized at that level as well. So it's something that builds on their character and their skills throughout their school years. Okay, we will now go into item 4C, which is a recognition of a $39,000 grant from the Endeavor Foundation to the city's purchase of Citizen Emergency Response Team trailer. And we're going to ask the chief to come back up. And this, by the way, is just another example of one of the things that Chief Wenzel has brought to this community. And we will now make a presentation for the Endeavor Foundation. They'll come on up. You can make the presentation. Okay. Who's going to accept it? Are you?
So if I could just introduce myself first. My name is Tom Liu, and I am the refinery manager for the Endeavor Refinery.
Okay.
And we are honored to be able to present to the city of Clayton, to the police department, a check for $39,000 for the vehicle. It's a pleasure for us to be able to do this. I am a resident of the city of Clayton, and Mr. Vines is a city of Clayton. He actually works in my refinery.
All right.
So it's kind of coming home for us. But it's our pleasure to present this check for $39,000 to the Clayton Police Department.
That's great. Come on out. Photo op here. Okay.
Mayor, get in the middle.
There we go.
Mayor, get in the middle.
Okay, all right, here we go. Look at this, 39. This is a big check.
This is awesome.
Okay. Chief, it's all yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much. Again, in the partnership with the city, we're looking at emergency preparedness, and I think everybody's aware of the unfortunate situation in Napa. And, you know, we understand that in a small community, it's very important to stay working with CERT and the community to protect ourselves when an event occurs. And there are a couple areas that we were concerned about, and we're going to be preparing this next year that the city is, as best we can, deal with any type of incident, emergency, critical fire, pipeline, things like that, that we're able to work with the community and protect and educate. So thank you very much. It's something that the next chief will have to be working on. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Thanks.
Use it well.
We like being able to have organizations like Endeavor there to donate to the city and help us for some of the very important things that we need, and in particular regarding the support for our CERT team, which is a valuable asset to the city and our community at large. All right. Next, we will move into reports. And yes, go right ahead. We have a number. We have the wonderful planning commission from the city of city of Clayton, and our chairperson, our commissioner, Pete Cloven, is going to come up and make that presentation. Don't mind that everybody's leaving.
Yeah, we won't be insulted if they leave.
This always happens. Everybody wants to leave.
Realize they're in the wrong city.
I know. I'm flashing back. Okay. Peter.
Definitely not as exciting as that was. So the Planning Commission had a meeting on October 24th at 7 o'clock. We had 4 of the 5 commissioners there. There were no dissenting votes, so we all had a chance to hear 2 great reports from the Planning Department on 2 potential ordinances to review. The first one was regarding zoning ordinance 0617 regarding 6-foot fences to be located within the required exterior side setback or at the public right-of-way line. And after reviewing the information that was provided and asking several questions and looking at the exhibits, we were satisfied and we voted for nothing and passed the ordinance as written. The second ordinance was zoning ordinance 1016. Zoning ordinance 1016 regarding cannabis and cultivation and use in the city. And after, again, a great presentation and a significant discussion among the planning commissioners that were present, we adopted the ordinance as written, 4-0, which basically was for the prohibiting the outdoor cultivation and all commercial uses of cannabis activities, with the exception of deliveries from approved and licensed vendors outside the city to be delivered to residents in the interior. And the great conversation on what exactly was a commercial entity, and again, it passed 4-0. And that was the end, and we adjourned. Thank you.
Any questions of our
Good
planning
job.
commission?
Thank you.
We get the product of.
All right, you can run too now.
I actually want here, so.
Peter, thank you very much. Okay, no Trails and Landscape Committee meeting, and we will move on to the city manager and staff.
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, next is City Council. These are various committees and commissions and so forth that the council members all participate in. And I'll begin with Council Member Tulia Catalano.
So I attended the East Contra Costa County Habitat Conservancy Board on October 23rd in Brentwood. I'm the alternate council representative, and Vice Mayor was unable to attend. So I wanted to point maybe one thing out of that meeting in case there are any citizens who might be interested. The board has a public advisory committee that includes 3 different groups of stakeholders. One of those groups is private landowners and agriculturists, and they are currently looking for a position. So if there's any Clayton resident or anybody sort of right outside the Clayton that might be interested, they can apply. And I believe that link is now in our city website as well. And that's it.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Pierce.
Yes. The day after our last meeting, I attended a Contra Costa Transportation Authority meeting where we reviewed budget and a few other things and got a audit report as well. But I told them we were faster than they were, so that was kind of fun. Then I also had the honor to attend in San Antonio, Texas, on behalf of the Association of Bay Area Governments. I serve on the National Association of Regional Councils, which is all of the ABAGs in the country where they come together as a national group to advocate for regional councils and work together. And I was appointed to the board the national board last June. So we had a board retreat in San Antonio, and it was a delightful trip. Very sad for what has just happened down there. It's just tragic, but it was a beautiful place to meet. We had 6 meetings of the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. Also attended the Focus on the Future conference put on by all of the self-help counties who have transportation self-help taxes to pay for transportation improvements. And I attended that on behalf of the Contra Costa Transportation Authority. That was in San Francisco this time, so it was a quick commute in and out of the city, and missed all the evening events because coming home from the city at 11 o'clock is not something I wanted to do. But we're cheap at the Transportation Authority, and we don't pay for overnight stays when it's within driving distance. So that was a very interesting conference, talking about how we are going to deal with and maximize the benefit from Senate Bill 1, which was the transportation measure that just went into effect. And there are tremendous projects statewide that are going to be funded by that measure. Then I had the really delightful honor to go to San Luis Obispo on Friday night last week to attend the Cal Poly Alumni Awards. And normally I wouldn't bring that up at a council meeting, but I attended because our executive director for the Transportation Authority was honored with the equivalent of a Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of the Alumni Association down there for what he's done to give back to the students, mentoring them, helping them find jobs throughout the transportation industry in California over the years since he graduated. And I think the reason I wanted to mention that is because he is such a perfect example of what so many of our executive directors, our city managers, other planners, the folks who work for our local and regional agencies do so much of this kind of thing to give back, and nobody ever hears about it. I mean, Gary gives back in many, many ways as well. And so when one of them is honored this way, I think it's really right that we make sure everybody knows that they are more than just the guy behind the desk. They're the people in the community who are giving back and always doing something to make our communities better. So it was a real honor to be there for him and see him recognized.
Great. Thank you. Councilmember Shuey.
Let's see, I had one conversation with a person who is interested in the Keller House and has a proposal that I forwarded to Gary late today, so he hasn't had a chance to look at it yet, but something that, you know, we kind of always wonder what we're going to do with the Keller House, and somebody actually had an idea. It's a little early to figure out and disclose, but it's something that was intriguing and that somebody was interested in, maybe has the wherewithal to do something with it. So we're going to pursue that and see, and I'll give you updates, and the council will be advised if it becomes viable or something that we really need to look at from a standpoint of a policy of whether we want to do with that. But it was kind of interesting, so it was very, very cool. Other than that, I think that's it.
Excellent, thank you. Vice Mayor Hayden.
Just a couple of things. On the 26th of October, did attend the CVCA monthly meeting. That's again the organization that puts on so many of the events here in Clayton to raise money to pour back into our community. We have a monthly meeting. And then on the 28th, I helped with the Clayton Bocce League Summer League finals. And 2 teams did get down to the finals. It's 2 teams that often meet in our finals, the Avengers and Ed's Mudville, and the Avengers did win the championship for the Summer League.
Who's
and
the capo of that?
I believe one of our councilmen is actually on that team, is the capo. Mr.
Was he
Shuey.
playing during the finals, or was his alternate there?
I was leading by example.
There are those that tease him that maybe that's why they did win.
A good leader knows who to put in the right position.
I see. Good job, Coach.
Yep. Yeah. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Keith. I was a little bit busier. I had first on the 14th rather, or 19th, the County Connection Board meeting that I represent the city on, and many things are coming down the way for that, and mostly towards new vehicles that are electric battery powered, that are going to be more fuel efficient, obviously, and will be environmentally sound for when they be getting into service as they go on. Another interesting aspect we discussed at a later committee meeting that I'm on, which is the operations committee for the County Connection, is that autonomous vehicles are going to be showing up here and there. They will be used for short-run things such as, in the case of downtown Walnut Creek, moving them from the downtown area to the BART station. And at this point, it's all automated, no driver, maybe an attendant at the beginning, but that's about it. And then it'll all be automatic and shuffling people back and forth between downtown and the BART station. Interesting meeting I went to for the East Bay Division of the League of California Cities. That was on the 26th. I represent the city on that, and I'm a member of the Public Safety Policy Committee. And we had 3 police chiefs that made presentations. They were a panel, El Cerrito, Brentwood, and San Leandro. And they were discussing how each of their communities are dealing with the implementation of medical and soon-to-be recreational marijuana, which was a very fascinating program. That thing keeps moving on. I know this, we all get emails from a number of groups that are putting on seminars to kind of, educate us throughout this process. But it was interesting in the regard that the police chief general opinion was that this is something for those of us that were not used to that we're going to have to adjust to, and it'll be there. And obviously, the state has and the people of the state have voted to move that forward. And I did attend that operations committee for the County Connection. Then the Mayor's Conference. There was another one that we had, and this was at the St. Mary's College in Moraga. And there is a group, and maybe our city manager is aware of it, that they hold a seminar once a month for 7 months for staff employees of the cities to help develop a retention model on how to develop new people to come in, move them through the system so that eventually they'll stay with the cities. And you notice tonight we had another one of our police chiefs move on. But this is something that's happening in most communities throughout the 19-city Contra Costa County area and other places. This group has a representative, a professional representative from Danville, and they have the city manager of Arcadia as a part of it. And it was really fascinating to see what the program does in terms of how it goes about trying to enhance the retention rate and to attract people into the city government community. Let's see, the Mayor's Conference. Finally, I did a delightful thing on Friday night the 3rd. I went to the Endeavor Hall for the 1940s radio program, theatrical presentation put on by the Clayton Community Theater. The venue was packed. I don't think there was maybe 1 or 2 empty seats, but it was a fascinating performance, very nice. That concludes my report. Now we'll move into item 6, which is public comment. And this is for items that are not on the agenda. And I know I have at least 2. The first one, is it Claudius Crockett? Yes, please come forward. Again, state your name, what you'd like to address us on, and you're on.
Thank you very much.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so my name is Claudia Crockett. I live in Chaparral Springs, and we have a fantastic view of the Oakhurst Golf Course. But actually, we are having a situation, and we try to resolve as a community, and we had not been very successful. We have, from my vantage point, I have 7 dead trees from where I live. I just can see 7, and this is just a little fraction of the golf course. The service drive had not been attended, is neglected for lots of months, maybe years. Had been inviting to maybe youngsters to throw, soda cans, beers, bottles. So every time there is a tournament and we are inviting other golfers, they see that because they have to go through the service drive. My main concern is fire hazard. And this is, I think we have to be proactive. I think we are learning lessons from other cities, very tragically. People, the cost of lives, and of course, homes, business. And the reason I'm here, I'm really not sure if the city has jurisdiction on a private establishment like Oakhurst, but we did everything we could. No call had been ever answered. And then there is the superintendent named John, who had been even, probably some of you know the late Donald Fitzgerald. He had been very active in this community. He passed 2 years ago. And this superintendent said to him, if you don't like it, do it yourself. We are short of people. Our main focus is the golf course. Everything else, if you don't like it, do it yourself. I was talking with Gail Fitzgerald, his wife. She couldn't attend because she's, under the weather. But I plead you to put pressure. Because it's not only, let's say, it's not only that curb appeal is the heart of the city, it's a very focal point, can be beautiful, but little by little it's coming down. And the garbage, and maybe next time it's going to be a lit cigarette, we don't know. And this is something that has to be taken care of.
Thank you
Please
very
share for
much.
your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next for an item that's not on the agenda under the public comment section, we have John Barclay, who would like to address us as well. Again, please state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir. My name is John Barclay. I work for the Contra Costa Health Services. I'm the Director of Home and Community-Based Services for the health plan. I'm also a seated member on the Contra Costa Homeless Council, and I come to you today in that function. We are asking the City of Council to adopt a proclamation to celebrate Homeless Awareness Month. November is Homeless Awareness Month. I have some information for you that I can email to you, that I'll email to the city clerk to give to you, and I also have some leave behind information for you, and there should be a paper copy of it that I had given to the city clerk earlier.
Right, I have it.
You have it? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get to email that over. I'm not sure if you want the information here, but when the Contra Costa Homeless Council did their point in time count, they found 10 homeless individuals in the city of Clayton, 5 being chronic, 3 being what they consider to be newly homeless. And we're asking the cities to adopt these proclamations to spread the word and to put out information about the crisis we're having in Contra Costa County with our homeless population. Just to give a quick number to it, I don't like to be the doom and gloom, but we can only house 41% of the homeless individuals in our county currently with the services that we can provide. Near 50% of the homeless population is children. And that's just heartbreaking. So we are asking for the city to adopt the proclamation. I can hand you the information if you'd like, or if you'd like me to leave it with the city clerk, I can do that.
Would you do
for
that?
to
Yeah,
review.
give it to Janet.
Sure. All right. And that's what we have. I don't want to bore you with statistics. I can leave the information for you to read. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Barkley.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else wish to address the city council on a non-agenda item? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment section, move to public hearings, item 7A, and that is first to consider the introduction and first reading of ordinance number 479, amending the Title 17 zoning of the Clayton Municipal Code for continuation of the local prohibition of outdoor cannabis cultivation for personal use, and to prohibit all commercial cannabis activities within the city except for cannabis delivery originating from outside the city. Community Development Director Mindy Gentry, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. So this agenda item pertains to the regulation and prohibition of both medical and adult use cannabis. These proposed regulations are in response to the passage of Proposition 64, which was also amended by SB 94. And these issues have been presented to the council previously for policy direction, and the proposed regulations are in response to the council's direction. So just as a recap, the city council provided the following direction to staff, which was to prohibit all commercial cannabis activities, which included retail sales, commercial cultivation, distribution, testing, and manufacturing, and to regulate the deliveries of both medical and adult use cannabis that originate outside of the city limits. So the proposed ordinance before you tonight does prohibit all of the previously disclosed activities, commercial activities pertaining to cannabis. And then the ordinance also has regulations in place to regulate the delivery of these products. The regulations include that all employees delivering cannabis will have to have 5 items on them at all times. They'll have to have a copy of the licensee's current state license, a driver's license that is basically a government-issued driver's license, an employee ID, a City of Clayton business license, as well as a copy of the delivery request or manifest. No cannabis can be stored within the city at any time. All deliveries will require proof of signature, so essentially no porch drop-offs, and deliveries will have to be to a physical residential address only. So it's recommended that the city council motion to have the city clerk read ordinance number 479 by title and number only and waive further reading, and then motion to introduce the ordinance to continue to prohibit cannabis cultivation for personal use and to prohibit all commercial cannabis activities except for deliveries originating outside of the city limits. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Thank you. Questions from council?
No, we discussed it.
Tuya.
I have a couple questions. Sorry. So I'm looking at the actual text, the Exhibit A, Section 17.95.030. So when we talk about adult use, I mean, I don't see a definition for adult use. Is it in the state legislation? Is it 1821?
Yes, it's embedded in the state legislation, which is 21.
21. So the fact that it's in there, we don't need to reference it here.
Correct.
Okay. And then, so subsection 1D talks about, if you have any deliveries coming to your address, that you need to have a signature and proof of ID. What's the reason behind that requirement?
I mean, obviously, the concern would be having somebody under the age of 21, having it delivered to them. So the proof of identification, also you're delivering it to the correct individual and not a misdirection or a misdelivery. And then obviously porch drop-offs are not allowed in order to prevent someone from gaining access to it that was not originally supposed to have access.
Right. So I guess I'm going after the age here. So I mean, if they have proof of ID, presumably they're over 21, they're not 21 or over, but should this then also request proof of adequate age, or is that overkill?
It potentially could be overkill. The state also is drafting legislation or regulations that are coming out this month. They rescinded all of the medical regulations pertaining to cannabis due to the fact of the passage of SB 94. So they'll be reintroducing new regulations to address deliveries that will probably actually be much more onerous than what's being proposed here.
Okay. And then one more point. So on the prior page, and sorry for being this picky, but I think we're missing a verb in the, whatever this is, so section 17.95.010I, where it defines commercial cannabis uses. I think in the second to last line, that is not sold and in strict accordance, I think we need is or some verb
I
there.
cannot believe we missed a verb. That was
Sorry.
478 days without missing a verb.
I apologize.
And now we've done it.
I apologize.
There goes the record.
The whore.
And that's it for me.
Okay, any other questions of staff? Okay, this is a public hearing.
Just waiting to
Yeah.
see if, going to get a response, if that should be in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, this is a public.
You agree we missed a verb?
Yes, a verb was missed.
It's official. All right, start the clock again.
It's the ordinance, it goes into the code, so.
Oh, gosh.
We are doing really good on our vowels, though, so we're okay.
Okay, this is a public hearing item. I'm going to open up for a public comment on item 7A. If you have a comment and wish to offer it, please come forward, state your name, and we will be happy to take your input. No one is coming forward, so I'm closing the public hearing portion of this item and bringing it back for action or further discussion.
I would move to have the city clerk read ordinance number 479 by title and number only and waive further reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to have the city clerk read the ordinance number 479 by title and number only and waive further reading. Oh, we have to vote first?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's been moved and
If
seconded.
it's not unanimous, Mr. Mayor, then the city clerk must read the entire ordinance.
That's right.
That's really the way.
Thank you, I got it. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to repeat what I just said.
Verb really threw you off, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. The first one in how many?
475 days.
Yes, okay.
Verb was vote.
Hearing none, I'll signify support by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, ordered.
Ordinance number 479, an ordinance amending section 17.04.138, 17.36.080, 17.71.020, and 17.71.030 of the Clayton Municipal Code and adding chapter 17.95 entitled Medical and Adult Use Cannabis Regulations to continue to prohibit outdoor cannabis cultivation for personal use and to prohibit all commercial cannabis activities as defined except for cannabis deliveries originating outside of the city.
Thank you.
I would move approval of ordinance number 479 for introduction with findings that its adoption is not a project under CEQA and it will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment and is therefore categorically and statutorily exempt under CEQA.
I'll second that.
Move it in second. Any further discussion? That motion, as mentioned here and directly, finally read by our council member Pierce. All those signify support by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Order. Thank you. Okay. Moving forward to 7B. 7B now is consider the introduction and first reading of ordinance number 480, amending chapter 17.36.075 of the Clayton Municipal Code to allow 6-foot-high fences to be located within the required exterior side setback or at the public right-of-way line. Ms. Community Development Director.
Thank you very much. So at the City Council meeting of October 3rd, direction was provided to staff to draft an ordinance to amend the Clayton Municipal Code in order to allow the placement of a 6-foot tall fence within the required exterior side setback or at the public right-of-way line. And this direction came out of 2 code enforcement cases that were initiated by staff due to the placement of retaining walls with fences on top of those retaining walls. So the staff is back now with a proposed ordinance. So currently the Clayton Municipal Code allows fences on exterior side lots to be a maximum of 30 inches in height within 5 feet of the property line and a maximum of 6 feet in height in the remaining portion of the exterior side setback. So essentially this gray area right here, the fence could only be 30 inches in height, and then from the 5 feet back from the property line is when you would be able to have a 6-foot fence. Staff currently sees the fencing regulations for exterior side setback as a potential issue because the residential property owner either compromises privacy by having only a 30-inch high fence, or they have to sacrifice usable land in order to have a 6-foot fence. Further, the required 5-foot setback from the property line creates kind of a larger no man's land when coupled with the approximate 5-foot setback of public right-of-way directly behind the sidewalk on the exterior side yard. The City of Clayton does not maintain landscaping within the public right-of-way, and it's left up to the property owner, which may or may not be maintained. And if 6-foot fences were allowed to be located on the property line, of which there are actually already numerous instances within the city already, it would then reduce the amount of space to be landscaped between the back of sidewalk and the fence. And I've put together some examples of instances throughout the city that show not only the maintenance standards or lack thereof, as well as varied distances throughout the city. So this particular one is in compliance with the code. Currently, as it's drafted, the setback here is approximately 5 feet, which would put the property line roughly about at this point, and then 5 feet from the back of that is the 6-foot fence. Again, this is the same. It's compliant with the code. Not very well maintained. This one would be compliant with the ordinance as it is proposed for council's consideration tonight. It's roughly approximately 5 feet from the back of walk at the public right-of-way line. And here's an example of where you have one that's compliant, this one that's set back 10 feet, and this one that is not compliant with the current code. And then here's one that would be compliant with the proposed ordinance that's, nicely landscaped. The same with this particular fence as well. It's recommended by staff that the City Council motion to have the city clerk read ordinance number 480 by title and number only and waive further reading, and then motion to introduce ordinance number 480 to allow 6-foot fences within the exterior side setback or at the public right-of-way line. I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Thank you, Mindy. Any questions? Yes, Julie.
I just want to clarify that all we're talking about now is the location of the 6-foot fence. We're not dealing with retaining walls and encroachments into right-of-way or anything like that.
Nope. Just locations of the fence.
And when will we be having those discussions? Are we going to have any further discussions? Or are you going to come back with something for us on that?
For the encroachments?
Pardon?
For the encroachments?
Yeah.
The draft encroachment agreement was brought back at the last council meeting, which was approved on the consent calendar. So city staff is now going to implement that for the particular instances that were flagged during this process, and is only going to be used in extenuating circumstances, but no more encroachments as far as staff's concerned.
Okay, so the ones that are currently there, that will apply to, but no new ones will be allowed?
Correct.
Okay, that was the
Great.
confirmation I needed. Thank you.
Tulia.
So my question was very similar. So there's a different section somewhere that talks about if you have a retaining wall that's 3 foot high and then you put a fence, that you're not creating a 9-foot wall.
Correct. That's addressed in the height regulations, and there's still a 3-foot separation requirement. Yep.
Vice Mayor Hayden.
And adoption of this would seem to resolve the issues that were raised and the examples that were used at our last council meeting that raised the issue, basically. This would resolve those types of issues.
Yes, and it would create less illegal fences that are currently in town.
Okay.
Nothing else? Okay, this is a public item, and I'm going to open up now for public comment. If you have any comment, please hand your card to the city clerk, and then state your name, and you have 3 minutes to address item 7B.
Hi, my name's Mark Helson, 29 Tiffin Court. My concern about this is that there be some minimum distance from the sidewalk or the curb to any fence. What I heard was that the city's right-of-way doesn't necessarily always extend back 5 feet, or there may not be always a right-of-way away from the curb or the sidewalk. So I'm not sure how that's addressed in this. I meant to go to the planning commission meeting. I wasn't able to go to that. So it would be really bad if this ends up allowing a fence right at the edge of the sidewalk, because that's really not good, especially from a pedestrian point of view. So.
Okay. Any comment from staff?
There are already certain instances in town, for instance, on Keller Ridge, there are fences that are placed right at the back of the sidewalk. And the public right-of-way does vary throughout the entire city, so it would be location dependent.
Okay. Anything further? Okay. Mr. Kelson, thank you. Yes.
I would just make one comment, and I'm sure that Mark is aware of this. In our neighborhood on Tiffin Drive, on both sides, the right-of-way extends 7.5 feet behind the back edge of the sidewalk. So it's a good distance away. There, it's a good bit of area that has to be landscaped. But there are also utilities in that, so that's why. I mean, the water mains run right under that 7.5 feet, and we all get little notices to clean out all the vegetation around those water valves. So, but yeah, I don't know if in Keller Ridge is the right-of-way at the back of sidewalk, or is it? I would assume so, because when we approved those conditions of approval, we approved the fences, and we would not have put them in the right-of-way.
Correct. The fences are at the right-of-way line. One thing that is unique on Keller Ridge, it does have a detached sidewalk, so there is a green belt and then the sidewalk.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Any other comments? Anybody else wish to address this item 7B? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment portion and bring it back for further discussion or action.
Because this is all we're dealing with, I'm willing to make the motion to approve ordinance number 480 for introduction to amend the Clayton Municipal Code to allow 6-foot tall fences to be located within the required exterior side setback or at the public right-of-way line, i.e. property line.
Yes.
With the finding its adoption is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15303 class 3 categorical exemption for construction of new small facilities or structure. ZOA-06-17.
Mr. Mayor.
It's been seconded. Oh, excuse me.
We appreciate the eagerness, but we do need to read it by title and number only first.
Step one.
That was step one. I'm sorry.
That was step 2.
Okay. We'll move to have the city clerk read ordinance number 480 by title and number only and waive further reading.
Oh, I can't second that. That's okay. I will.
It has been moved and seconded for the city clerk to read ordinance number 480 by title and number only and waive further reading.
Vote.
Vote. All in favor signify support by saying aye.
Aye.
And oppose.
I'll get the process back in order.
Ordinance number 480, an ordinance
Yes.
amending chapter 17.36.075 of the Clayton Municipal Code to allow 6-foot high fences to be located within the required exterior side setback or at the public right-of-way line.
Thank you.
Now I'll move to approve the ordinance for introduction.
Wholeheartedly
as
second that.
previously read.
There you go. I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we now approve ordinance number 480 for introduction with the finding its adoption is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA guidelines number 15303, class 3 categorical exemption for construction of new small facilities and structures. All those signify support by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Done. Ordered. Okay, we'll move on to item 8A, which is an action item, and that is to consider the approval of an exclusive negotiation agreement between the City of Clayton and Fulcum Development Company, LLC, to facilitate the city's processing and consideration of the developers proposed to construct a senior care memory care facility with limited ground floor retail commercial establishments through eventual purchase and development of the city's 1.67 gross acres of unimproved real property located at 6005 Main Street, which is APN 118560-010-1. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The good news is there's not an ordinance in this item. So we'll start on that basis to begin with. As most of you understand, since you've been involved, the city in April of 2013 purchased the large vacant unimproved lot behind the Clayton Community Church from the Clayton Community Church for $1 million in cash. That purchase was made in the interest of economic development for the downtown center. And shortly thereafter, in our eagerness, we also put up signs listing that property for sale, expecting a long line at City Hall immediately. We waited approximately a year for that line to materialize. It did not. And therefore, we went through the process of inviting some proposals from commercial realty companies in Contra Costa County who could assist us in marketing and listing that property for sale. After speaking with several of them, the City Council decided that the best partnership would be represented through Transwestern, who has represented the city since in the marketing of that larger piece of property. Mr. Ed Del Beccaro, as most of you know, is the one who is the principal involved in that with Transwestern. He's in the audience tonight in case there's any questions regarding this or other matters in terms of the property. You also know that the current zoning for that property is for retail commercial on the ground floor with mixed uses on the second floor. Mixed uses could be a combination of retail, or residential, or other types of business offices on the second floor. With that in mind, Transwestern went into approximately 650 to 700 retail commercial establishments known locally as well as nationally to see if anyone was interested in the Clayton opportunity that we now had as a city. Unfortunately, there were not any responses in the commercial retail interest. There was one vague inquiry about a fast food chain restaurant, and that was quickly kind of dismissed because they wanted to have access immediately off of Clayton Road going both ways into the property. Two of the developers, we did receive 4 proposals, however, through Transwestern during 2015 and 16, and 2 of those developers submitted proposals for a medium to higher density residential uses on the entire piece, including ground floor. The other 2 developers presented proposals to the city that involved mixed uses of commercial retail, a little bit of that on the ground floor, but combined largely with what's termed as a senior care facility. Now, the senior care facility has a lot of different subcomponents in that. However, what has been discussed primarily by those developers and subsequent ones for that land use have been in the area of assisted living, senior assisted living, coupled with a memory care facility. And through Mr. Del Beccaro, we were informed that there is currently in this county, as in most areas throughout the nation, a real need for senior assisted living facilities, ultimately senior care. In July of 2016, the City Council approved what is called an exclusive negotiation agreement. In short, and I have it up there on top, it's an ENA through one of the developers that you selected for a senior care called Pacific Union Land Investors. They offered $1.7 million, $1.625 million at that time, and the City Council felt that that was a good use, but you also felt, and we did as a city, that the use could be enhanced if that developer could go and get the property that the church had for sale, the accompanying property adjacent to it. That developer tried for a year. There were various negotiations. There were various points and key points within that dialogue, and ultimately the developer came back to us, and we recognized that it didn't appear that the time was right for the church to let loose with an assurance that they would sell the property to that developer, and therefore that larger project dissipated. We then asked Pacific Union Land Company if they were interested in constructing a senior care facility just on the city's vacant property in downtown. They said yes. And they came back and we did a second exclusive negotiation agreement with them, and the land price for that city property went to $1.7 million. Shortly thereafter, 3 to 4 months thereafter, Pacific Union did their due diligence, and they came back at the staff level to say that they were no longer interested in pursuing what I will term as a standalone facility on our property. With that in mind, Mr. Del Beccaro went back out into the marketplace to determine what's the highest and best use as the market is dictating for that property, and he gave us several other developers that were interested in similar senior care facilities with some few retail commercial establishments on the ground floor. The cities and the City Council's Economic Development Committee met with those developers. They were, their titles are Avesta Development Company and Fulcrum Development Company. And during the summer months, we spent a lot of time negotiating with those parties. And tonight is the culmination of that. We have an agreement to present for you for your approval to move forward with allowing Fulcrum Development Group to present a project proposal for consideration through the city's normal land use processes. Fulcrum Development, LLC as it's known, excuse me, is primarily in the business of developing and operating, which is a key point for us as a city, operating assisted living and memory care communities. The reason we like the aspect that they not only develop, but we like the fact that they stick around and operate it, they have vested interest. We were concerned, naturally so, that a developer might come in, just build it, and then flip it to someone else, to an operator that we would not know, not have confidence in, or have some concerns with. So we find it promising that they are not only interested in the purchase of the land, but also in its operation thereafter. My staff report indicates the number of years the principals of that group have had in real estate commercial transactions. They also, however, that particular company has two similar senior living memory care facilities that are in operation right now, one in nearby Fairfield, California, doing business as what's called Rockville Terrace, and the second one's in Vacaville, doing business as the Cornerstone Assisted Living. They are also in the process of developing or constructing three other similar communities. One is in Vallejo, the second one is in San Ramon, and the third one is in Bakersfield. In addition, they have contracts to do similar facilities in the communities of Los Gatos, El Dorado Hills, Sausalito, and San Jose. So they clearly are in the business of doing this type of venture of senior care, memory care, with some small commercial retail around it. With that in mind, we have negotiated with them on what's called an exclusive negotiation agreement that basically is the roadmap of what happens moving forward. It's important to note and to point out at this time that an exclusive negotiation agreement is not a binding agreement on the city to ultimately sell the property or to approve the use. What the City Council is doing by entertaining the approval of the ENA is to allow that process to move forward. So Fulcrum Development Group has the opportunity to present its project, have it submitted for critique and review at the staff level, and then ultimately at Planning Commission hearings, and then finally back to you as a City Council for consideration. Because as I noted early on in the presentation, the underlying property has a zoning of commercial retail on the ground floor, and their proposed use, as demonstrated by the market interest, would be for something different than fully retail commercial, so it involves a general plan amendment among other instruments. With that in mind, the deal points of the exclusive negotiation agreement, the land and sale purchase price that they've agreed to is $1.9 million, and that would appear in the disposition and development agreement that would ultimately accompany and be a secondary unit or mechanism to the overall land use process, because the disposition and development agreement discusses exactly what will happen with the project after it changes hands and been approved, if it is approved by the city. The second item is Fulcrum must make a good faith deposit of $15,000 cash with the city within 5 days after this agreement is signed by the city. Noted in your agenda packet is it's already been signed by two of the principals, the primary principals of Fulcrum. That is an indicator of their interest in moving forward and the deal points tonight. Fulcrum has 90 days from the date that the ENA is signed to tender what we call its pre-application packet to the Community Development Department for its initial review. What a pre-application packet includes is outlined in the ENA, but generally it's just a site plan, some cursory elevations, basically enough meat in which we can get an idea of what their stated purpose for the project, how it looks as it begins to become interpreted onto the land site and some elevations. After the Community Development Department responds to the pre-application packet in what we call a non-binding preliminary analysis letter, basically what Fulcrum is looking for from staff is after they've given us their pre-application packet, well, what does staff think about it? You know, are they on the right track? Are they on the wrong track? And we call that non-binding because then staff will react. We will give them a letter, and at that point, after we have given them the letter, they have 90 days in which they can and shall hold a minimum of 2 community meetings, presumably in this room here. The public will be invited to come in, hear what they have planned for the downtown property, have some exchanges of interest and feelings about how the community is reacting to that. Is it good? Is it bad? Don't like that elevation, change it here, tweak it there, and so forth. All within that 90 days. And following that 90 days, or within that 90-day period, Fulcrum must file its full application. That's what we would normally expect to see from any developer. It includes a laundry list of a whole bunch of application forms, information, and materials, which then our Community Development Department reacts to. Once they deem it's complete, it will undergo what people normally are familiar with, which is called the CEQA process, or the environmental review. When they file their full application, Fulcrum must submit an additional good faith deposit of $20,000 to the city. So now that deposit is up to $35,000. In addition, Fulcrum, at the time they submit their full application, must also file a time and materials check or a deposit with the city. That deposit, which is replenished usually in increments and times down the road, fully pays for all the staff time, any expenses, any legal expenses, and all of the secret review. So essentially, there's no free ride by developers. We're not doing anything for or worse to Fulcrum than what is normally done in a development process. A developer pays for all those fees and that staff time, and Fulcrum is agreeing to do that as well. In addition, as I noted there, they will replenish that deposit as things progress through the developmental review. Following that full application time period, Fulcrum asked for, and we've included in here, a prescribed 300 days after the filing of the full application in order to give everyone enough time, not only staff, but Fulcrum to respond and react if necessary during that process, as well as for the public to respond and the developer to react to the final application that goes before hearings before the Planning Commission and ultimately to the City Council of the proposed project. In our talks with Fulcrum, as we were discussing these deal points, they wanted the 300 days, but they were very clear to Mr. Del Beccaro and myself that they are hoping to move that process more quickly than that because they understand time is of the essence. They want to hit the market right in terms of getting another facility online coupled with their other operations as well. They also asked for additional time periods to be extended. They wanted the two of them to be done administratively. That would be by myself as the city manager. And if they asked for any more than 2 30-day extensions, which would be a total of 60 days, any further extensions would then have to come back to the city council, and there would be an explanation as to why they need further time. During those 300 days, the city and the developer also negotiate and finalize what I referred to before as the disposition and development agreement, which is also it's a transactional document which accompanies the land use application and is also available for public review and comment. It's also subject to CEQA. Now, here's the deal points in terms of what happens to that project. I indicated earlier, this is an agreement for them to submit their proposed project. The City Council's hands are not tied in approving the final project, which I think is very important to emphasize. You still retain, by approving the ENA tonight, if you should so do so, that you're not obligating to ultimately say yes to the project when it comes back before you. Should the City Council, however, then ultimately deny the proposed project, Fulcrum is reimbursed the full good faith deposit of $35,000. They don't receive any of the money back that we spent already on processing, staff time, and so forth, but they would get their good faith deposit back. Should Fulcrum withdraw its pursuit with sufficient cause after the filing of its full application, or it should say without sufficient cause, then the city gets to retain $20,000 of the good faith deposit, and we return the remainder of $15,000 to Fulcrum. So remember that $35,000 good faith deposit. We would keep $20,000 if they withdraw without sufficient cause sometime after the full application. That essentially helps to pay for the city's time and expense by taking that property off the market and giving them the exclusive right to pursue it within those 300 or some odd days. And finally, should the proposed project be approved by the City Council, that's at the very end, all the public hearings and everything else has been done, then that good faith deposit of $35,000 is applied to the ultimate purchase price of $1.9 million. That essentially, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, concludes my staff report and presentation, just noting that earlier it indicated that we paid, the city did, $1 million cash for the property. Since during that time we also had escrow costs, and during the last 4.5 years of holding that property in title, we have what is termed as carrying costs, and holding costs, such things as special property taxes, which even though it's held in public title, public property is not exempt from special taxes. So we right now have it's $1,065,000 into the property. And as indicated, Fulcrum is willing to pay the city at the end of the entire process $1.9 million. That's the end, Mr. Mayor. I'll be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Vice Mayor Hayden.
Question, Gary. You indicated about there's just prescribed 300 days after the filing of the full application for the internal processing and subsequent public hearings, but then you commented also that they hope to complete it before that. Is the 300 days required, or can it be completed? Is it up to 300 to accomplish all that?
It's up to 300.
Okay.
And then if we don't know what the public process, might happen. We don't know if there's a CEQA review that requires some additional things. So what we're doing is allowing for worst case scenarios. Obviously, it's to their interest as well to move things along. But for instance, let's say the CEQA consultant find some difficulties in the project as presented, and there's some additional things that need to be discussed and talked about. It allows that time period. What we wanted to avoid, Vice Mayor, was making that time period too short, where then we were constantly extending it, and then bringing it back to the council for another extension. I think you saw that we had that with Pacific Union Land Company, and since the council only meets twice a month, sometimes it actually delayed things longer by not allowing for those extensions.
Okay, yeah, I was just questioning the reference to a prescribed 300 days.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a lot of merit into the word prescribed. It just means that, from my vernacular, it just means it was inserted that the 300 days, they felt they could do it within that 300 days. We tried to make it a little shorter, and Mindy squawked. No, she didn't. But we also want to make certain that our staff has sufficient time with other workloads to adequately process it as well.
Right. Any other? Yes, Julie.
So going to Keith's comment and backing it up and taking it from today, assuming that we agreed to this tonight, that would mean that basically 6 months from now, mid-May, early June, somewhere around there, we would expect to be ready to receive a full packet.
That's correct.
Full submission.
Right. 180
and then
days.
sometime on or before March of 2019, we should have something done.
That's correct. We also, as we discussed the timetable.
Process done.
Right, the
Not
process
built,
done.
process done.
That's correct. We discussed the timetable with them as well, and we also had to factor in the holidays that the city has, and if you approve this tonight, the clock starts ticking, and we suddenly find ourselves right in the holiday season where a lot of things begin to stop. In terms of processing. So we wanted to, on the front end, allow them sufficient time to do their due diligence, prepare their packet. Now, certainly there's nothing in here that says they can't move it more quickly than those time periods.
Sure. Okay. And so, and if I remember right, and Ed may have to verify this, I seem to remember they were talking about approximately a year for construction. Is that right?
Yes, I think that's for construction period.
Okay. So we're talking early 2020 or maybe before.
Really sounds
for something to open.
Sounds far away, but it begins to creep up quickly.
Yeah, it's not that far away. We're almost at the end of 2017. I hate to remind you. I don't know where that time has gone.
Fulcrum is very eager and excited about the market in this area. They've been informed that several of the senior assisted living facilities down the road and over here are full. They have waiting lists. As we all know, the population is aging. Unfortunately, I tried to negotiate a spot for myself in this, but I didn't turn out.
Well, the other
No,
comment,
I didn't, folks, if anyone thinks.
Well, actually, you did, you just forgot by now.
What are we talking about?
In the memory section.
that's that second floor. And that's been complicated actually by the fires in the North Bay because the senior center down on Clayton Road actually took in 100 extra people from one of the facilities that burned up there. And so the Oakmont, or Montecito, I guess it is, now has extra people. They use their entire ballroom and third floor. And it's basically a large ward. And, they're not rebuilding things very fast. So there were 2 centers up there run by that company that had to be fully evacuated. Wow. So I don't know what the status on the second one is, but I know that they have been spread all over the Bay Area, and they were massive facilities. So that didn't help this shortage of places for people to go. So the demand is certainly there.
Okay.
I think Tuya has all kinds of scribbles on her. The lawyer at work.
Councilmember Catalano.
So I have a quick question. So what's our annual carrying cost on the property? Approximately, when you taxes and all?
Yeah, it's about $8,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so of that 65,000, 44,000 was incurred with close of escrow.
Okay, so 8,000. So I guess my only question is, I think it is about 500 days until we're sort of supposed to be at a position where we'd be approving a project. We'll be looking at approving a project. So I'm wondering, I think you vetted this, but is there any need or potential use for any other thresholds within there? I mean, would you see, whether it's filing and commencement of CEQA review, or whether it's, do we foresee any kind of informational hearing in front of the Planning Commission ahead of time, or anything like that,
Well,
within that 300 days?
We did not address those because the ones you're talking then become internal.
Right.
Those are within control of staff, and so normally we wouldn't want an exclusive negotiation agreement to tie staff's hands. We want to keep fulcrum pushing, but we can't alternatively make those kind of promises with the limited amount of staffing that we have, as well as looking down the road. We've got a couple other projects that our community development department will be handling. So we didn't put those milestones in.
Okay.
Edit? Anything else? Okay, this is a action item, and also we accept and invite public comment on this. So I'm going to open up the public comment section. Anybody wishing to address this item, 8A, please come forward, state your name, and you have 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
You might exempt him from the 3 minutes.
I'm Ed Delbacarl. The other note I want to make is Fulcrum took to heart the critique that they had to use the rotunda, that they had to change their design, have different levels of massing, and they had to have retail on the main street. So the design, all those were taken into account. They agreed to that. We pre-vetted that, and so that will be part of the design when they submit it.
Good.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else that was to address the City Council on item 8A? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment and bring it back to the council for any further discussion and action.
I would move approval of the ENA and authorize the mayor to sign on behalf of the city.
I'll second it with the reservations I've already noted.
Been moved and seconded to approve the ENA and allowing the mayor to sign and execute the document. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all those signify support by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordered. Thank you.
Let you do that.
Item 8B.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Getting there.
Okay, item 8B is to consider the adoption of a resolution appointing Joseph Kearns as the interim chief of police as recommended by the city manager pursuant to California Government Code Section 21221H. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As you saw tonight and participated in, our popular police chief, Chris Wenzel, will be leaving us on November 13th. We are under recruitment right now, and I have 7 applications for the chief's position, 5 of which I intend to submit through the interview process. However, that will take some time. Actually, it takes more time for a law enforcement employee, given the peace officers and standards training regulations that require full backgrounds and other types of things. I know Mayor Diaz is quite familiar with that as well. So we will have an immediate vacancy in the chief's position. Understanding and foreseeing that, I received and asked for and solicited some proposals from several retired chiefs or retired executives, police chiefs, who could fill in for us. And Mr. Joseph Krines, who actually lives nearby our city, came forward. We had a very good conversation. Mr. Krines, I don't know him by heart, but forgive me. He includes 8 years as Novato Police Chief and also in the interim Novato Police Chief. He has a post-executive certificate. He's got a resume that's longer than mine in many respects, and he is also well respected in his field. We're fortunate that he's willing to take this interim post. And the reason the item comes to you tonight, because as you're aware, the city manager normally hires and selects individuals, but Mr. Krines happens to be a CalPERS annuitant. And under the PEPRA, which is the Public Employees Pension Reform Act that was enacted several years ago by the state requires that if a CalPERS agency, like the city of Clayton, hires an existing CalPERS annuitant, which Mr. Crines is, that the city council or the legislative body must do that on a public agenda, do it by resolution, and make the finding that the employment of that CalPERS annuitant is essential to the conduct of business for the city. Well, certainly, we can't operate a city without a chief of police, and Post understands that as well. And therefore, it's my recommendation to you that this item is merely a formality, but I'm asking that you approve this tonight. One other note is that CalPERS, under that PEPRA law, also indicated that if an agency does hire a CalPERS annuitant, that agency can't just pay that individual or that temporary individual whatever dollar amount they desire. That individual's salary or that hourly rate must be within the existing range of whatever the full-time chief is. Furthermore, there are no other benefits that are associated with that. And that caused Mr. Crines some umbrage because that included donuts. And no, just kidding. Come on. Joe,
You know what you're in for.
Joe has a great sense of humor. I know he can handle that. So anyway, there's no other benefits, however, that are allowed.
I cannot believe you said that it didn't allow me to.
I know. Got to be quick tonight, council member. So before you do, however, consider adopting the resolution, and Mr. Crines is in the audience. I'd like for him to come forward, introduce himself, say hello, and have you a chance to get to know him. Joe?
Okay. And you don't have 3 minutes. You can take what you need.
Well, Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here this evening, and hopefully you'll adopt this resolution. If you do, I am looking forward to working with the city of Clayton. I do live right down the street. About 5 years ago, my wife informed me that we were going to be moving out of Marin and back to the East Bay so that we'd be closer to our kids and our grandkids. And I didn't really have much say in that matter. So the only thing I said is, could we live in Clayton? And actually we looked in earnest during that particular time, and it just wasn't a property available for us at that time. But we did the next best thing, and we moved down the street just off of Pine Hollow, so we're not too far away. And my driving commute is about 3 minutes, so not too bad. Or if I choose to walk, even better. I can't let the comment in regards to the donuts go unchecked, and because I will tell you, this is a new millennium, and this is about bagels and bottled water these days. So no more donuts. But it would be my pleasure and my honor to work with the city of Clayton to continue what Chief Wenzel has been doing for the last couple of years. I was fortunate enough that the city manager brought me in 2 years ago to assist in that recruitment process, and I did at least sit in that selection and had an opportunity to take a look at the candidates, which I would do again this time around. I do have a rather positive track record in regards to recruiting chiefs, and I was very actively involved in the recruitment of my replacement in Vallejo, Benicia, Winters, and most recently Novato. And we selected all 4 of those chiefs, and all 4 are still there and still in place. So that's a good thing. But anyway, I just want to take the opportunity to say hello, introduce myself, and let you know that it would be a pleasure to work with the city of Clayton.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Good.
Sounds great to have somebody local, too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Okay, this is an action item and also a public comment item, so I'm going to open it up for the members of the public to come forward and address item 8B. And please, if you have any comments and wish to do so, please state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
For our large public.
And no more public. So I'm going to close the public comment section and bring it back for any questions of our city manager from our council or action.
I would move adoption of the resolution appointing Joseph Crines as interim chief of police pursuant to California Government Code Section 21221H.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the resolution or adopt the resolution appointing Joseph Crines as the interim chief of police, recommended by our city manager pursuant to California Government Code Section 21221H. All those signify support by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is ordered. Congratulations, welcome aboard.
All right.
Good.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, we have item 9. Any council items for meetings of a future nature that they would like to bring and put on the agenda? Seeing none, we close that item. Now we move into item 10, which is a closed section for Government Code section number 54957, and Public Employees Annual Performance Evaluation, the position of the city manager. And under Government Code section 54957.6, conference with our labor negotiation negotiator, agency designated representative, me and the mayor and the vice mayor, for the unrepresented city employee, the city manager. We will now go into closed section. And thank you all for all your fine work. We'll see you over the next few days.
Thanks, Mal.